Hey friends, today I'm going to show you how I make my own embroidery patterns. You're going to need an iPad and an Apple Pencil and some kind of reference photo. I'm using this sunflower. We're going to be using the Procreate app. First, start by inserting your image and then go ahead and create a new layer. We're going to, on our original image, turn down the opacity so we can draw on top of it. So go ahead and select your new layer, and any pencil, I'm just using the color black with a normal Procreate brush. What I'm going to do is zoom in on the image. It's a little bit easier to see what you're tracing since we've turned down the opacity. And I'm just going to begin tracing the elements of the image that I want to be on my embroidery pattern so I'll know where I want to stitch. Also, pro tip, if you want to draw a perfect circle, you can just hold your brush down when you're finished and Procreate will help you tune up the image. What we're going to do next is go back to our original image, back to the opacity, and return it to normal. Now what I'm doing is selecting the image that we've traced and I'm just centering it in the middle of my canvas here so I can see a little bit better. Next, I'm going to duplicate the outline layer so I'll have an image to print and trace later. I've also got an image of an embroidery hoop here so I can kind of test out and see realistically what it's going to look like in the hoop without it actually being in a real hoop. Now that our opacity is back to normal, zoom in on the image and pull the individual pixel colors. If you hold down your finger on any part of the image and then drag the color from your color drop onto any part of your image. Also, pro tip, when you pull a color from your color drop tool, this little text button will appear at the top that says continue filling with recolor. If you click that, then you can drop the color on any part of your canvas without having to pull it from the color box each time. Once you're happy with how your mock-up looks, we're going to go ahead and return to our canvas and start picking out the colors of thread that we're going to need. So what I like to do is create a new layer, just the largest brush I can find, and then picking all of the pixelated colors that Procreate's generated for me and drop them at the top of my canvas so I can get a good layout of what my palette's going to be like, so that way it'll be a little bit easier for me to choose my thread colors when the time comes. DMC has these wonderful little thread color books that you can buy. They're about $50 for the threaded ones. I don't suggest getting the printed one because in my experience the colors are a little bit off. What I like to do is just go through this list and color match all of the colors I can find according to the DMC thread chart because I only use DMC and I'll just have to tell you about that later. So once I'm happy with my mock-up and I've got all my thread colors, what I'm going to do is go back to my layers, turn off all the layers except the duplicate layer of our sketch that we created. And this is the image that I'm going to email myself and print out on fabric. And if you need a tutorial on that, go ahead and click the link above. Hopefully that helped you, but that's all for today. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.